Greetings. Welcome to another in the series on Yang style Tai Chi Chuan. I'm Michael Gilman. This particular program is essential and very important. What I'm going to do is go over, explain. I'm going to do the whole long form. But what I'm going to do is insert, stop, and insert all the different changes, modifications, clarifications that we've been working on in the past year or two. So this is going to be really essential for those of you who have studied the long form and are presently practicing. So I want to help you to be clear about some of the changes that we've been making in the last little while. So for my assistant, we've got John Considine here to help, and we're just going to go, I'm going to go through the form, and John will be coming in and out when I need assistance for clarification. Okay? So I'm not sure how much, if we're going to get through the whole form or not, but we're going to certainly try. So I'm just going to go through the whole form, and when I get to something that needs clarification, we'll stop and talk about it. All right? So right from the beginning, I've changed the way I've started for many, many reasons, but I won't even explain them at the moment. So, for starting, feet are basically together, standing upright, hands to the sides. And what I want to impart with this particular posture is a feeling of being very present, alive, and in my heart ready to practice. So there's just a feeling of being very, very present. Head lifting, the spirit enlivened, and starting to relax into breathing. Then, when I feel ready, I'm going to sink the weight into the right foot. At the same time, lift up the left heel. So I'm going to be dropping the weight into the right foot at the same time the left heel goes up. That way, what I'm doing is committing the weight so that I can then step out sideways. Now, it's very important when stepping out sideways not to just move the body. We're standing upright, the weight sinks when it lifts up the left heel. When the knees about cover the toes, we step to the side as far as you can comfortably go, then shift the weight, keeping this basic stance. Okay? So the hands, here they are at the sides. As we drop, the hands start to relax, placing the foot out, and as the weight shifts, the hands gently and easily rotate, facing slightly inward. I'm actually thinking about gathering the chi into the hips at this point. Okay? So we're sinking, lifting, stepping, shifting, gathering to the hip. Now, Pong, we open, the hands expand outward. And we're all the way upright. Lu, the energy moves back into the center, and the hands move back towards the center. Ji, the two hands move outward as if sort of pressing or pushing forward. All the weight up. And on, we gather back into the center, and finally letting the hands drop down as we come all the way back up. So we're doing the 4 basic energies, Pang, Lu, Qian, harmonizing ourselves, getting ourselves ready for moving into the form. This is sort of a preparation we call Commencement of Tai Chi Chuan. Let's do it again. Dropping down, lifting, stepping out, shifting, gathering. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and we're ready to go into ward off left. Okay? One more time. Sinking. Moving into ward off left. Now, we're going to sink as we open. We join and then sink as we open and open the foot. Before, when we had done, most people, we had gone down first. We were down already to start with. But now, since we're up, we're going to open and sink and step out. Okay. Now, the next change, slight change, is as we open and step, this forward foot has always gone straight. I've always done it straight. But then what happens is beginners have a little bit of a problem making this transition from this direction to the right push upward direction. So I've decided to make it a little easier. When we step out with the left foot, even though it's going basically straight, the angle of the foot is inward about between 30 and 45 degree angle. And we then do ward off, facing slightly to the right as opposed to facing straight ahead. So this movement is going to look like so. Now, John, if John comes in, okay. So if I do it facing this direction, even though it's going to be straight, facing this direction. So in this case, John is coming in with this side, his whole right side. So here I am, and I'm going to first join and sink at the same time. Now, as I sink, I'm going to put my foot behind him, inward at an angle. Instead of this way, it's going to come inward. Then, as I pressure out, I throw him over the leg. So if we do it this direction, he comes in. So, see, it's very easy now, because of the angle, when I move forward to disrupt his knee, and in this case, we come up. Now, something we were talking about, when he does this movement, if I do this and use a round arm, round like so, like kind of a traditional Pong arm, he can easily roll inward and come around my arm. See, once again, so if I'm here, you see, it's easy for him to roll in. If this arm is outward, in this case, he cannot get around. So it's easy for me to throw him over, and he cannot get around. So it's important when doing this movement to do that. Okay, so thanks. So now watch. I join, lead, step in. So here I am. I'm behind him, and I have a good angle to disrupt him. And this hand is a Pong, but it's not so round. It has a little bit more of a straightness to it. Okay? Next, right push upward. So you see how easy it is to go from here, right push upward. There's very little change, whereas in the past, it was a little bit harder to make this bigger round movement. So I think that's a good, easy modification change. Roll back, press. Now, for clarification purposes, a lot of people, you'll notice, do roll back. I'm focusing on this arm particularly, like so. And it's relaxing, it's very nice, it's very relaxing, but it doesn't have the timing, it doesn't have the power, the strength, and the ease of movement. So what I suggest for us to do is from here, it's just coming right in, as opposed to circling and then coming in. It just presses right from where it is. It's very simple, very easy. So most of the presses I tend to do this way now. And push. Single whip. When I learned single whip, Master Choi was very, he said, this is the two wrist cross. And to me, it's a little uncomfortable, and it's not as practical as having the right arm a little bit lower. So I'm picking up, somebody's punching towards my upper body, so this is a little higher, and this is a little lower for the whipping portion, as opposed to coming in here. So it's just a slight clarification, not a change. Raise hands. Okay, now something I want to really make sure you're clear on is that the torso, the center, moves the arms. The torso moves the arms. It is not the arms moving by themselves. Now you'll see quite a few people doing this raise hands movement like this. They come in and then the arms close at the end of being here. But now watch the difference. Here is I'm joining. Now, if you watch the center, and particularly the right arm, as the center closes, you see the arms just form into place. The arms are not really doing anything other than moving with the body, but because of my idea of what I want to happen, they come into the right place, you see. So every movement, you want to be careful that every movement, the center is the thing that's doing the movement, and the hands are not doing it by themselves, okay? Stork spreads its wings. Left brush knee. Play the fiddle. So here again, the hand is in place. We move up into it. Then the torso turns to bring the hands into place. Now watch. There's a relaxation. So this is, here's straight. Left brush knee is slightly to the left. Now I'm going to be coming back to straight again. So we're going to step up. Now watch. As the torso turns to straight, the hands just come into position, you see, as opposed to this kind of thing. So use the body, use the torso, use the center to make everything happen. Play the fiddle. Left brush knee. Right brush knee. And left brush knee. Now I want to do a little clarification on these brush knees. in this instance. These brush knees are neutralizers for a strike to the face and then a attack. So if John comes in here, second. What's mostly important, I think we'll go in this direction, is if John's coming in, remember, I don't want to confront the energy straight on. Best is that I somehow can get behind him or inside of him, and particularly close him up so he can't use his other hand. Get behind this hand. So in this case, when he's coming in for these brush knees, the hand is aiding him. We call it slap. It's a bit of like a slap. And you see just that little bit, I can stick to him and give him a little extra and throw him off of balance. So as this comes in, you see that here I am, as this comes in, I'm stepping in, and then the hand comes out. So I'm already inside of him. It'd be very difficult for him to do anything. Okay? And then I drop this down and have this come out. So most of the brush knees, I try and get inside and lead the energy past me. Okay, thank you. So, now watch. If I do it straight ahead. Okay. So here I am, I'm sinking back, leading his energy in. It's still coming in, it's still coming in, it's still coming in. Now I drop it out and come out. As soon as my heel hits, as soon as that heel hits, then you're ready to come out. So here, it's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in. Now I'm ready to make the attack. Okay, so from stork spreads its wings, left brush knee. This is a little different. Now, right brush knee, so here it comes. It's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in. Now I'm ready to come out. Right brush knee, coming in, left brush knee, coming in, coming in, coming in, and out. So you'll see most people do brush knee like this, and that's fine for whatever reason they have. But if it's very important. The idea makes the form. The idea makes the form. The form is formed out of the idea of what you want the body to do. It's not the other way around, whatever the other way around is. So, okay. So once again, so now play the fiddle. Again, you see the body is turning and the hands are just moving into place because the body is turning, and the body is turning, brings it back in. Once more, left brush knee. Step up, parry, and punch. The same thing. I want the energy by. I want to allow it in. So as I shift back, I'm allowing the energy in, allowing the energy in, allowing the energy in. Now I'm inside of it so I can do the follow through. Okay? So if I do it facing you, the punch is coming towards the center. Neutralize it down, neutralize it down, neutralize it down, neutralize it, step in. As soon as the heel hits, now I'm ready to do this second piece. All right? And then following this, step up, I want to emphasize a little more pressing down. It's called step up, parry, and punch. And this is a downward parry. It's like a deflect, downward parry, and punch. Withdraw and push. See, the body is turning, and the body is back. Now, one other thing that I wanted to, reminds me of at this particular point. We have 3 positions for what we call nose pointing to the knee, how the torso and nose line up. In this case, my nose and knee are basically facing in the same direction. I could say my nose is pointing in the direction of this knee, but it's actually they're both facing down parallel in the same plane. I then have also this, where my nose faces in the direction of this knee. The minute the nose gets outside or too far of the knee, you lose balance. It does just even a little bit. Even a little bit. So when I'm here, this is fine. If I go turn just this much, my nose is now facing, here's the knee going here, and my nose is facing out here. Now, it's very easy for me to lose my balance. So, the nose is going to face this knee. The nose is going to face straight. Now, we have another little funny thing. It's called nose faces this knee. And it looks a bit like I've gone too far here, but I haven't. I'm still in my strength. If I turn just this far, now I'm out. I'm going to fall over and fall backward. As long as your nose faces the knees, or in some cases it faces halfway, like in like ward off, it's facing in between the two knees. It's fine. Okay, so for instance, in this case, when we do step up here, step up parry and punch, I'm facing straight ahead. For the transition, we now turn nose points to the knee. I'm fine. I'm really centered. And then come back, nose points to this knee. And finally, nose points straight ahead. So be very, very mindful of having the nose and torso line up facing either in the direction of the toe or at the toe, at the knee or toe, but not any further outside of them. Very important. Okay, so here we are, withdraw and push. Cross hands. Carry tiger to mountain. Now, I just want to clarify and make sure that as we transition into various changes of direction, you want to make sure that your hip is opening as you're doing this. There's no need to, in the beginning, a lot of times when I teach classes, is I have the student open the whole hip up first and then step, just to make sure that the people are opening the hips. It's very important to open the hips as opposed to turning the body. Then you can fall over, lose your balance. So on this, in this case, for instance, cross hands, moving in carry tiger, as you go first, you pivot on the toe, opening the hip up. Now it's very easy to step in the new direction over. Roll back, press forward, and push. Fist under elbow. I think, did I bring in the medicine ball? Do you see that, John? I can't remember, maybe you could, is that, you got that someplace? Yeah. Maybe this is a good time to bring this in, if you could come on in. Now, okay, hold on just a second, you can hold that. So now watch. Following push, there's always a little problem about what's going to happen next, what's happening, and how are we moving and transitioning and blah, blah, blah. One day I got this idea and I had this medicine ball, and it's just this. Now, if John and I say he's got his foot forward, John and I kind of throw this back and forth a little bit. We'll kind of. Now, I want to use my torso, my legs, my hands. So if I throw and then let go, and I'm ready, automatically ready to receive it back. We have to receive it with soft hands, with hands that touch it, lead it in, gather it into the center, and then throw it and relax. Right? And then in. And the energy then moves into the leg and comes out. This is very good for those of you who want to train. If you use a medicine ball, I think this is about 15 pounds or something, and it's very good training. But it's very important to see how the release happens, and then you're just ready to catch, okay? Okay, so that's good, thanks. So now watch. So carry tight around, roll back, press. So here I throw the ball to John, and I'm ready to catch. But something's happening some other direction. So I just move. But as we transition, as we turn, the hands are ready to catch the ball at any time. You see, I mean, John could be moving around the room, throwing the ball from all new directions, and I'm ready. So this transition, very important. As opposed to something like this, I'm not ready. I couldn't do anything. Or something like this, you know, of course, it's stupid. So Tai Chi is nothing but natural movements. You want to be natural, you want to be efficient. So here we go. Fist under elbow, just ready, okay. Okay, next change. This is a change, is we're going to do step back or impulse monkey, but we're going to do it 5 times. I've always done it 3 times, but I've changed it to make it 5. And why? Because I noticed when I finish the form, doing it 3 times, I'm over in this direction, you know, some little bit. I end up over there. And I want to end up as much in the same place as possible. So we figured out if we step back 5 times, we end up in almost to the same place that we started, which is kind of harmonious, you know, it's nice, rather than ending up in the other room someplace, okay? So, 5 repulse monkeys. Okay, I'm going to move over here just for ease of the room. Now, next clarification is coming into raise hands, slanting flying. Slanting flying. I imagine I'm very open here to my side. So the first thing I have to do is guard, because the energy is coming from here, I need to guard myself. So I'm closing the armpit. At the same time, I'm coming into the center so that I can be more able to move and make changes in my body position. So the first thing that's going to happen here is the elbow is going to start to drop to protect. The foot is pulling in, and I'm coming into basically center position. Then the energy is coming in here, so I join with it, lead it to the side, and do slanting flying. Okay. So first thing, the elbow starts to drop. We pull in, coming into center, then step and open. Now we're going to do this in a few places, like white snake puts out tongue and things like that. And by the time this hand wants to be fully relaxed, when just at the same time the heel hits down forward for my new step. So what I'm saying is, we're transitioning. Now, if you watch this right hand and the right heel, okay, this is fully extended and this is touched down, and now we can go ahead. Good. Raise hands. Body. Body. Stork spreads its wings. Step inside. Left brush knee. I'll move over here a little bit. Left brush knee. So this is another one of those slap, slap. There's 2 punches here. There's one here and one here. Slap. Slap, step in, and strike. Slap. Slap, step in, and strike. Needle at C bottom. Now, John, if you come in for this, I want to see. Now, this, we need to step in. So if, in this case, I guess it's good. In this case, he's grabbed me. Now, what I want to do here is say if you grasp me from bottom, yeah, from bottom. Okay. Here, if I even tried to pull him down and don't let me pull you down, I don't have the leverage, I don't have the ability to do it. If I'm here, I have the leverage and ability to pull him down. I need to close the distance. So here, when he comes in, now watch, there's my hand. What I'm going to do is basically step up into a place where this is really strong for me. So as I do that, I put him into a lock and then drop him down. But it's important for me to get inside, to get in here to where I'm really strong. So instead of, okay, hold your hand there. Instead of doing something like this, or this, what we want to do is step up so now I'm really comfortable on this level and then take him down. Okay, thanks. Okay, next, say I take him down and he starts to get up. Now, say he's holding me. Now, for the next movement, fan through the back. When I come up, it comes straight up. I want to open him up here. So I'm going to come up and attack him here. And this is basically to protect myself. And the attack is coming in here. Now, I don't need to pull in with this top hand. It's just going to be where it is. Stay. Okay, so thanks. Let me do this. So, needlessly bottom. This hand stays. We step up into it. Get into position and take him down. Then, raising up, step in, leave this hand here, and move into it, as opposed to pulling this back, throw off your balance. Okay. Next, turn and chop opponent with fist. Now here's another instance where his punch is coming in. I'm going to neutralize it, keep it going this way, and step inside of him. You see, this reminds me a lot of kind of like Chen style. They do that a lot, that kind of circular motion and step inside. So here we're joined. As his energy is going this way, my step is happening. Now I'm inside, so I can do this chopping motion. Step up, deflect downward, and punch. Here's something else we've been talking about. One of the great values of Tai Chi is that moving energy around the body, internal consciousness, that the center moves around the point of contact. So John, if you come in here a sec. Now let's say after turn and chop opponent with fist, he's punching in with this hand. Now at this point right here is my connection to John's center. It's my connection to John. This is how I can feel what's going on in John's body, what's he going to do. In this case, I've neutralized, and now I'm going to close him up. But you see, the important point here is that this point, my consciousness is in this point, or wherever it may be as he rolls up a little bit of my arm, that it's now at this point of contact. So in this case, wherever I touch him, that becomes my knowledge of John, and in this case, I then come in, and now this is my knowledge of John, and then I'm going to, because I know he's a bad boy, You strike him. So, you see, it's my center that is working John's center. You see? Now look, if you look at John's body, okay, so he's connected, right? Now, just watch, as I turn, see his whole torso and body is turning. I'm turning his center with my center. Now, this is really interesting and wonderful, I think. And then we step in and punch. Okay, good. So thank you. So, and we're going to do this, every time we touch the opponent, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to know the other person's center. We don't care too much about the periphery. That doesn't matter too much. We're trying to get our consciousness into that person's center and manipulate it. So here, I'm joined. So here's my awareness. My awareness is still there. My awareness is still there. My awareness is still there. My awareness is still, now it's on the bottom. And now my awareness shifts to this palm, and finally we come up. Okay, ward off left. Right push upward. Roll back, press forward and push. Single whip. Now, another point of clarification. This hook hand we use a lot in Tai Chi, right? When it first forms, when the hand first forms, it's not like this unless we're grabbing, pinching, or grabbing something with the fingers. The neutralizing portion happens with this surface, this little finger, and this point. And you can do this to yourself if you take your left hand and you place your right hand over it and just let your right hand relax. You can feel that this little finger can move the whole hand, can move the whole body very easily. It's a soft wrapping and very easily move it. So the neutralizing portion, because if I commit too much, I lose the ability to contact, to know the person's center, too much tension. This is very relaxing and very easy. So if you notice, the first portion, so here I am, I'm ready to catch something. Okay, now he's punching in, so I wrap softly. Then I'm going to open. Now I still haven't secured anything yet. Now at the end, when the heel hits, this closes up to kind of grab a hold of the person, and this is going to slap them. Okay? Waving hands like clouds. Okay, now I want to make some clarification on waving hands like clouds. We have 3 repeats of waving hands like clouds in the long form. Each one I want to have a little bit different. So, as you know, if you've been following along, each one is a little different. So, John, if you come in, I'll work on all 3 of them right now just to clarify which is which. The first, let's see, let's do it this way. So he's punching in at an angle. Say I've just done single whip. He's coming in at an angle over here, and he's using his left leg and right arm for the attack. So I'm going to neutralize him. Then I'm going to strike him. Let's try it this way. Okay, so he's coming in. Neutralize and strike him into the rib area. It's a strike. Now, I like to, I don't like to hit John very much. I'd rather throw him down on the ground. So, but I can't step behind him. Since he's got this foot in his attack, I can't step behind him, so I'm limited to hitting him into his rib area. He's closed up, I'm going to hit him. But let's say he uses the other side. Well, in this case, what I can do is I can step behind him and now throw him over the leg like we did in ward off. You see? Because it gives me more time, it's easier, and I can throw him over. So that's the second one. The first one is he's using this side and this hand, that side and that hand, and I strike him because I can't go behind him. The second one is that he's using this whole side, and so I can step behind him and throw him. And the third one is he's going to be in front of me, he's going to kick me in the crotch, and I'm going to grab him and then throw him away, grab it, block the kick, and throw him away. I don't want to, it's a bit tricky, so I don't want to hurt John. Okay, so there's three different ones. The first one, which one we're doing right now, is he's coming in here, I neutralize, then this is a smack. It's a loose, this is looser, it's like a whip. It's a looser hit. This is relaxed. It's rounder shape. And this is shoulder width. So we do this 1, 2. It's a shorter energy. It's a fast, quick energy. 3. And then we're going to do hit, block here. Okay. So it's fun, and when we get to the other cloud's hands, we'll talk about them again. Okay, so high pat on horse. Separation of the right foot kick. Separation of the left foot kick. Turn. Left foot kick with sole. Left brush knee, right brush knee, step up and punch downward. Turn and chop opponent with fist. Okay, here's a slight clarification. Now, let's say John, I guess I could use John here. If he's close by to me and going to either grab me or attack me, and I go to elbow him, if he stops my elbow, blocks it. Okay? From this point, I'm going to pivot on this point and just turn that right into a strike. I'm not stepping, I'm just pivoting my body. So if I go to hit him, he stops me, I just immediately turn that from this pivot point, and then I'm going to carry through and follow up with the strike. Okay, so that's good, thanks. So you see the hit. Now as he stops it, that strikes out. Then we step in and make the big hit. Okay, then step up, deflect downward and punch. We start with the punch. I think I've go off into the wrong direction here. Punch. Okay, this is going over here. Right foot kick with sole. Hit a tiger. Left. Hit a tiger right. Right foot kick with sole. Strike opponent's ears with both fists. Kick. Kick, punch, and cross hands. Okay, next, carry tiger to mountain. This is sort of a slight modification. I come up inside, grab hold of the wrist, back, step out, throw, grab, pull in, hit, throw down, and back. This is cool. Okay. Let's see. So this is going to be in this direction, but we'll do it in this direction. Okay. Now, let's say that John has grabbed me. What I'm going to do is break his hold. Now, if he's got me and I break his hold, what I want to do is I want to carry his weight and kind of create a space so that he can't quite get in. So this elevates a bit. At this point, I reach across, grab a hold of him, and push him and throw him. Okay, so I come up, take him, step to his new direction, and I'm going to throw him. Now if we do this straight here, like here, this hand goes on his back. I still have his wrist. Now, as I get him going, this is pushing him. At this point, this hand can let go, and I then grab hold and pull him back. You see? After I pushed him, I then catch him, pull him back, and then strike him upside the head. So, or I can just throw him back and forth. I don't have to be hitting him. I can just move him back and forth. But the timing is such that, you see, once I've got my hand here, he's going, this hand is free. So now I can reach around and grab him and pull him back. Okay, so now watch this. So here I break his hold, lift up, take the weight. Now I reach across, grab hold of this wrist, sink the weight, this hand goes to his back. Now I get myself ready. I pull, start the momentum. Now I'm pushing. Now once I've got him pushing, this hand can let go. I'm still pushing. Now this hand comes up, grabs hold, and now this one is pulling back. So this one's pulling back, this one's pulling back, this one's pulling back, and now this is still pulling back, and bam. Yeah. So the timing's a little tricky because the tendency is to want to do this, and then both of these go this way. But we want to, this is going to be a slapping energy, like so. And back. Okay, so once again, it's kind of, I really like this movement, you can tell. Okay, diagonal single whip. Again, this easy wrap. Partition of the wild horse's mane. Here again, I'm neutralizing something that's coming in, and I'm stepping in at the same time, and then chop. And then here I'm throwing over the leg. Ward off left. Point of contact, point of contact. Right push upward. Roll back, press forward and push. Single whip. Easy wrap, lead in, hit. Block, strike. This is a little bit, this block, we tend to do this Doesn't matter what hand he's striking me to him. This is kind of, it's sort of a natural thing that I can block, you know, with any sort of piece of myself. Okay, so this is a bit, in this case, I've just dealt with this, and he's coming in, so it's a little block, and then this just immediately flumps into the nose. So I could use the shoulder, but that's a little bit trickier. It's almost like a little pong here, and then this just comes right down into. Okay, great. So this one. So here it comes. So it's sort of like a little pong, and then just flies out. Fair Lady works at shuttles. Ward off left. Here again, it's coming in, let it in, let it in, let it in, let it in, bonk. Right push upward, roll back, press, push, single whip. Waving hands like clouds. Okay, so here's the second one, remember. So here I'm going to throw him over the leg. So I use a stronger arm, and not a round arm, but a little straighter arm so he doesn't escape, and throw him over the leg. But don't go so far, don't go past the knee, then you'll fall over. So step, one. Plus I need a little bit more pull. I need a little more stabilization on this. If I'm going to throw him, I need a little more pull on the opposite hand. Two. Okay. Single whip. Snake creeps down. Okay, golden pheasant. I just want to clarify that the golden pheasant, first golden pheasant, follows as snake creeps down. It's just almost part of it. He's punching towards a lower body. I'm going to sort of neutralize him in to this space, lead him down. At this point, I can attack him here, or here, and follow up with this whole side coming out. So when he comes, he's down, and just, this is coming right up from that particular point. Okay? Okay. So this is coming up, coming up, coming up, attack, and back. Okay? Repulse monkey. And then remember, we're doing this a little different. Block, and only 3 this time. Slanting flying. Again, protecting. In this case, we're going to throw him over the leg. Raise hands. Stork spreads its wings. Here's an elbow strike, followed by a pong. Left brush knee. Needle at C bottom. Fan through the back. Turn and white snake. Now, somebody's behind me. I'm very open here. So first thing, we have to protect the underarm, which drops the hand. And as soon as it hits the heel, and all this comes together. So it's all forming, but the main thing to be careful of is to protect the underarm by dropping the elbow first, and then come out. Step up, deflect downward and punch. Ward off left. Right push upward. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. Waving hands like clouds. Here's a kick, lift, throw, block, throw, block, throw, single whip. Throw over the leg, pull in, hit. Plane cross hands, turning cross-foot kick, slap, kick, step up and lower punch. Now here's a clarification, chop, chop. So when John, here I'm punching downward and he grabs me, and you see he's kind of over here. So I'm going to, you see, if I press him down a little bit, it exposes him. And then I'm going to chop, and as he falls back, I then chop. There's a chop, 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 chop. Press him down, chop, chop, roll back, press, and push, single whip, creeps down, 7 stars, right at a tiger, turn and kick horizontally, shoot a tiger with bow, step up, deflect downward and punch, withdraw and push, and conclusion. Okay, well, hey, we made it. There's a few more things we could work on, but I wanted to try and get it all into an hour, and I did. I'm proud of myself. And proud of John for putting up with us. And Bijou and Rose and Steffi and that guy Gary who's cutting out. So I hope this helps you, and this is very important to think about these things, but mainly be conscious of your center doing the work. Be natural, be relaxed, be clear, be calm. When you're working, just as if you're doing something you enjoy, it's easy for you to do. Keep your confidence level up, keep your spirit up. Just feel, okay, I can deal with this. Yes, I can deal with that. And your spirit is just going to kind of hover slightly above you, kind of protecting yourself, and then you'll have a good time when you practice. So I guess that's it, and thank you for your attention, as always, and I wish you a lot of luck on your practice and your career. Thanks. Bye.